And so what Joseph is doing is he isn't rolling out what is the playbook for Egyptian culture? How can I assimilate in here? How can I say these things in a certain way that the Egyptians think that, I know what I'm talking about? What he does is go, hey, if you're going to copy anything, Christian, copy what Jesus did. That's the only thing we copy. Why? Because Paul says, follow me as I follow Christ. Jesus says, be imitators of me. Like, we should imitate Jesus. Copycat Jesus, that's great. Just so you know, it doesn't end well for him, at least in his physical body. He gets killed. So that may be what happens if you copy him. But also, just like he was killed, just like he was resurrected, we have the promise that if we know, love, and trust Jesus, hey, we'll copy him in his resurrection. That is true. It's an awesome thing. So Christians ought to be able to engage with culture in such a way that we don't conform, but we influence and create. And we create in such a way where we're not looking at the bounds of what worldly wisdom says, but what is God's wisdom saying? So we can build cultures, we can build churches, we can build societies, we can build literally nations. And this is what God's people were doing. The nation of Israel started off with one guy, Abraham. He had a son, Isaac. That son had another son, Jacob. That son, Jacob had 12 sons, but one of them being Joseph. At the end of our study in Genesis, what we're going to find is that through one man, God showed up, spoke to him, and gave him a mission, and he set out on that mission. Not only did he follow the mission, but his sons continued the mission. Not only did his sons, but his grandsons and his great-grandsons continued the mission. Then all of a sudden, you have a nation. Then as you move into Exodus, they continue to multiply where the nation of Israel, God's people who are cultivating culture, are bigger than the Egyptians can handle. And the Egyptians get scared. And in Exodus, the Egyptians enslave God's people. Why? Because they were creators and cultivators, not consumer copycats. They were having too much influence. They're having too much effect.